As the playoffs are heating up, the trade rumors around the NBA are starting to heat up and escalate as a writer revealed that there is a three-team trade proposal that definitely involves the Atlanta Hawks as to who they could possibly be moving off of, who are they going to be sending, and who is going to be coming to Atlanta. I will be giving you all of the updates and giving you all the information in regards to whether or not who is going to be headed out, who's going to be staying here in Atlanta. There is a lot of information and it's going to be coming fast. Of course, with the draft coming up in the next, few weeks or so, well, of course, it's late June. But either way, with the draft coming up, listen, it is a lot of information and it's going to be coming at you fast. So definitely keep staying with us, sticking with Atlanta Hawks Digest Media, all that good stuff. But before all of that, let me go ahead and welcome everybody to the show. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Y'all take a seat, sit down, take your hats off, or like, what does Chris say? What did he say, y'all? Take your shoes off, leave on your socks. Right, let's get to it. Once again, really quickly, I want to tell everybody thank you for viewing the content, man. We definitely appreciate it. All of you guys that are hitting the like, share, and subscribe button, sending it to everybody, commenting in the comment section. I do appreciate that. It was one guy that left a comment. I don't know where he is right now. I should have screenshotted it, but in one of my last videos, it was right after the draft lottery. And of course, we all remember this.
The second pick will be made by the That means that the 100th pick in the 2020
Yeah, of course, we all remember the Mavericks enjoying themselves and being happy at winning the #1 overall draft pick, of course, which would be Cooper Flagg. And somebody said that the NBA is rigged. I definitely would love for him to expound on that just a little bit, not so that I could debate with him or disagree, but for the simple fact that I like the perspective. I want to know what he means when he's saying that the NBA is rigged, besides all of that. Now, of course, there are trade rumors that have been circulating. Of course, we all know the different people that could possibly be on the move, and the list is growing by the day, okay? First of all, going into the postseason and to the offseason for most teams, we all knew that Giannis Antetokounmpo was somebody that was going, not possibly, but going to be on the move. He was going to be on the move for the NBA. And that is something that, we all want to pay attention to because, of course, teams like Atlanta, of course, we have Trae Young. And though I want him to stay here, let me preference this. Though I want him to stay here, he is also another player that has been looked at by a lot of other teams and other general managers as to whether or not he's going to move from Atlanta or headed to another place or whatnot. So let's just get that out the way. We know that the trade rumors have circulated. We definitely see a lot of different people just adding to this list. Zion Williamson. Of course, you've got Giannis. You've got all the Joel Embiid could possibly be headed to the Lakers or whatnot. So we know that the trade rumors are circulating, but this is going to be something that you really want to pay attention to. The Atlanta Hawks are definitely going to be somebody that they're going to be on the trade or the potential trade list for sure. And the way that the NBA CBA thing is going on right now, or the new rules to the CBA collective bargaining agreement, you are going to see more three-team trades as time goes along, mainly because you want to see how the salaries can add up or how the salaries can match up. So due to that, necessary apron or whatnot, we know that there are going to be some major changes, and we're going to see a lot more three-team trades, not just, your quintessential this person for that person, this guy for that guy. So we definitely want to get into it, of course, with all of the trade rumors. We've established that, so we can move past that, thankfully. But something that I wanted to bring up was the three-team trade that we did run into. Of course, here at Hawks Digest, we scour the web and make sure that we keep in contact with you guys as far as what's coming up. So let's just go ahead and just talk about it. The Atlanta Hawks, they would receive Jabari Smith, and this is a three-team trade that includes Atlanta, Houston Rockets, and the Utah Jazz. So the Atlanta Hawks, of course, they would receive Jabari Smith Jr., and the Houston Rockets would receive John Collins, a 2026 first round draft pick swap with the San Antonio Spurs, Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah swap rights via Atlanta. So confusing. And an unprotected 2027 first round draft pick from Utah via LA. And of course, the Utah Jazz, they will be receiving Jalen Green. Now, how does this affect the Atlanta Hawks in any way? Okay, I'm pretty glad you asked, because with this young man headed to the Atlanta Hawks, it's a really big deal, mainly because he adds a lot to the Atlanta Hawks and their bench. So the question that does arise is, why this guy? Why should the Atlanta Hawks go for this young man in a trade? Why should they even go after this guy? So with the Atlanta Hawks, he does add some good use to the front court. He gives a lot of front court depth, as well as you're getting this guy at a very cheap price. He's still really young. You dig what I'm saying? I don't even think he's 5 years in the league. I want to say he's, 2 years in the league? And him coming off of the bench would definitely help the core that the Atlanta Hawks have. Okay, Onyeka Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Zaccharie Risacher, Dyson Daniels, Trae Young. I believe that this young man would add some type of depth to that Atlanta Hawks core, along with strengthening up that bench. Because, of course, last year that was one of the main issues, was that, it wasn't a lot of depth with the Atlanta Hawks, specifically at the point guard position. No, he's not a point guard, but the point is that the Atlanta Hawks were definitely hard pressed for depth, especially for specific runs throughout the season. We all know about the injury bug and how that had a long-lasting effects with the Atlanta Hawks. But just going over this guy's stats, okay? This year he averaged 12.2 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. His splits were 44% from the field, 35% from three, 83% from the three-point line. So, of course, his shooting splits are something that you definitely want to pay attention to. Can his production last? Can he continue to produce for teams? Could he produce for the Atlanta Hawks if he were to be traded to the Atlanta Hawks? Again, I feel as though that does benefit the Atlanta Hawks, be that with someone like Trae Young and the new role, I will say, that he is starting to come into as facilitator. And yes, Trae Young is still a scorer, so let me not confuse any of you in thinking that he's changed his tune. By no means has he done that. But Trae Young, adding this young man to the mix would help him out, as well as Zaccharie Risacher and Dyson and all of these other guys. Well, specifically Jalen Johnson, because I want to believe that they're around the same position. So I want to believe that he's around the same position, but I do believe that he would add some type of depth to this team, as well as he's going to make the Atlanta Hawks bigger. He's going to make them a bigger team in certain stretches of the season. Of course, we all know last year the Atlanta Hawks have had some issues with height, being a bigger team or playing small ball. And trust me, there are only a select few teams that can adequately do that for long stretches of time. Golden State Warriors. So I feel as though he would add some type of depth to the Atlanta Hawks. I feel as though he could definitely help the Atlanta Hawks move in the right direction. With this trade, I understand that Jalen Green would move away from the Houston Rockets to the Utah Jazz. And that's for the Utah Jazz and their own thing. Unfortunately, a former Hawk, John Collins, would be headed to, will he be on the move again, headed to the Houston Rockets. But I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks in regards to how this young man, and I'm talking about Jabari Smith Jr., how Jabari Smith Jr. would help the Atlanta Hawks. Again, the Hawks definitely made very well with the draft lottery this year. Be that there was a 3.8% chance that they wouldn't even get that draft pick. You dig what I'm saying? So the fact that the Atlanta Hawks did get that would definitely make for some interesting storylines going into the draft this year. Another comment that I did see in our comment section that was really interesting was that someone said that to the effect that the Atlanta Hawks should package up their 2 first-round draft picks and possibly move them to or not move it, but yeah, give them to another team for somebody or for a splash draft pick, or not, I'm sorry, not draft pick, but for a splash superstar, somebody that can automatically help the Atlanta Hawks win now. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I am just saying that that is quite interesting, and that is something to pay attention to as we get closer to the draft and as things starts to wind down from the NBA season. But with all that being said, my name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. I'm signing out, but I want you guys to continue to stick with us, because myself, Chris Chipmore, and all of the folks at Digest Media, we are definitely going to be giving you guys some more and more and more information as time goes on. But I'm out. Peace.